Hello, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes Astrology. Once a week, me and Alejo will bring you something to talk in the astrology to help you to learn astrology. Well, hello, Alejo.
Hi, Rod. It's a pleasure to be here again with you.
Yeah, well, without you, it's not 10 Minutes Astrology, isn't it?
Thank you.
This is our baby together.
Yes.
That's a little bit weird. And okay, let's stop talking about that. You have a different background now. You changed your house or?
I've changed the disposition. I changed where the desk is. Yes. I don't like it so much, to be honest, because you can see the
Okay.
door.
Yeah.
And this is not very tidy, but I have to. It's a working,
Oh, that's
my
nice.
house is a working process.
Okay, yes, you will find your lovely spot later then. Well, Alejo, tell us about what we're going to do for next series.
Okay, so we were thinking about what we have been covered so far and what people seem to be more interested about. And
Mm-hmm,
we decided that we're going to go now into more detailed approach to
mm-hmm,
astrology. So we're going to take the moon, which is one of the fundamental factors in every chart, and we're going to dissect how the moon is going to be played out, is going to be expressed in the different signs. So we're going to go through the 12 signs of the zodiac so
mm-hmm,
that you can have an example of how to interpret the moon by sign. And yeah, you can apply it to your charts that you know. So it's like a
mm-hmm.
cookbook podcast for a little while.
Yep, yep, yep. So I think this is very helpful, although we are doing this so basic so everyone can enjoy it. But I think we will try to bring different layer, and also you can always look at chart, look at simple things with the different lens, with different layer, or with practical, or with spiritual, or your choice. But we will try to cover it. So that's the beginning with the moon sign. And the moon in, of course, we start with Aries. Hey, what a surprise!
It's a sign of beginnings, of course.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's a springtime, it's a beginning. Let's go for it. So, Alejo, how do you delineate about the moon in Aries? I want everyone notice that our podcast is different from the other maybe YouTuber, let's say that, or TikTokers that podcast is. We are not tell you moon in Aries are like this and that. No, we are help you to read the chart rather than say this person is like this. Okay.
Yes. So the moon is about our needs, right? Our basic needs. So we can imagine when the moon is in Aries, it means that our needs are colored by the qualities of Aries. The qualities of Aries are the idea of being competitive, being pioneer, being independent, being driven, right? So a moon in Aries probably needs action, needs motion, needs to do things. Also, I would say a moon in Aries needs to feel their first, needs to pioneer, and there might be a kind of competitive approach to life. Maybe they feel that if they are not competing with someone, they are not really alive.
Mhm.
And we could say, like, if I'm allowed to bring in a psychological perspective, if the moon represents the mother, and maybe it doesn't represent the mother, but it represents some of the emotional quality when this person was a baby, we would say that there was an energy of invasion in his environment or her environment, in this baby's environment. And this quality of invasion, is it pronounced properly? Yes.
I think so.
Okay. So this quality of invasion might have become like emotionally appreciated because it's what this person felt, when they were just coming into life. And so now they might feel they need to be constantly on the defensive side because they might feel they might instinctively react to this feeling of being invaded, being attacked. So sometimes, you might see the moon in Aries when it becomes this kind of unconscious compulsive behavior, if you want, which it doesn't happen all the time, of course. You might see this tendency to be constantly a little bit defensive, like everything you try to offer help and they're like reacting in a defensive mode, which also emphasizes this idea of the need to be independent, the need to be autonomous, to open my own way, right? but I think it comes from this. So, like one of the gifts I would say from the moon in Aries is this drive for action and this honesty, I would say, in what they want to do. You know, moon in Aries needs to try things, needs to do things. They cannot think too much. They need to do things. But I would say the dark side of that is that, well, sometimes maybe the right response is to wait. Sometimes maybe the right response is to collaborate instead of being
Mm,
felt like you're being attacked.
indeed. Yes. From Alejo's talk about the moon in Aries, I noticed Alejo is trying to give the hint and also trying to, as a teacher, as an experienced teacher, he is trying to give you a one super important keyword about the moon. And I think if you are familiar with our previous episode talking about the moon in astrology, you will notice the need is the
Mm.
word we apply most of the time. So moon is not what you want. No. Moon is not what you desire. No. Moon is what you need in order to make you feel maybe like satisfied in your life, make you feel calm, understand, and quiet in your life. Because moon is like a food. Moon sign, your moon sign's quality, those issue or those I shouldn't say issue. Those theme and those characters or those things related to this moon sign, to related to your moon sign, are like the food. You have to do it, or you have to eat it, you have to experience it, you have to explore it kind of every day to make you calm and quiet. So in this way, somehow it is very interesting in a practical way. Let me say that. Maybe people will disagree with you. In a practical way, you better include the moon size quality in your everyday life, maybe in your work. Because if you include that in your work, it will save a lot of time because you are satisfied while you are working. How great that could be. So it's a kind of a application. So for moon in Aries, as Alejo talking about, there is the need to be first, and there is the need to competitive, and there is the need to do the things to initiate the event. So these are, I don't know, in English say doer. They make
Yes.
things happen. They make things happen. They don't waiting other people to call them. So it's a very, very, I think in the everyday life, moon is everyday life. In the everyday life, moon in Aries, they just continuing constantly in action, and you don't need begging for them. You don't need to say please do this. No, they will do what they want to do, and somehow with this competitive or maybe in action, always in action attitude, somehow it like maybe Alejo is right. Maybe there's the related to psychological in the in the child or in the baby's time there is the invasion of a space or something. So they're kind of somehow in a defensive mode, or maybe they use aggressive or a little
Mm.
bit more provocative that they probably didn't mean to it, but I just need to do this because I noticed one thing in the everyday language. Moonside, you have to do it. If you don't do it, you will feel upset. You will feel like you are hungry. You are hungry for that thing.
Yeah,
So
I
moon, yeah. Well,
I mean, I completely agree, and I think it's important because sometimes, because of course every planet has a shadow, and the moon has the shadow of a compulsive behavior, perhaps, right?
yes.
So sometimes we may read in the books like the moon is bad, it keeps you in the past and you should develop your qualities. And I would say, no, the moon is your
No.
soul. We
Yeah,
have
moon
to
is your soul.
respect what we need. It's like if you have the moon in Aries, yes, you need to compete. And because we are now in these cultures, competition is bad, like suddenly. And actually, I think it's depending on where you are in the culture, competition is
Yeah.
bad or not, because if you're in business, competition is good, for instance,
Oh
right?
yes.
So like we have this kind of double approach to competition, and I think it's very important not to be judgmental. Okay, moon in Aries needs to compete, needs to pioneer, needs to be independent. So if we don't, like you were saying, if you don't respect this in your everyday life, you're not going to be yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. True. Yep, there's a hunger and there is like a need, a curving for that moon sign quality. Like you say the moon in Aries, they want curving to be pioneer. They want to try something new. So how about that we quickly check a example chart, a famous chart, and it's not just every moon in Aries will look like him. But if that has happened, I will congratulate because you'll be really happy with this person.
Mhm.
Okay, today we're going to check a Bill Gates. Hello. Yeah, this is a wow super entrepreneur and ex
Ah,
CEO of a Microsoft. He has very interesting. Well, you can see Alejo. Because
yes.
in his chart, it's not only Moon in Aries, and look at that south hemisphere, the upper part of a chart. The moon is kind of only two planets together with Chiron in that just the moon being stand out. So this moon's character has shows it. Alejo, just the first glance, I don't want to ask too much detail because we both not prepare for chart. So have you sensed anything about how you're going to
Yes.
interpret this moon? Yeah,
So basically, when I say was because I saw the
yeah,
moon in Aries in the 10th house, which means
yeah,
it's angular, which gives it power, gives it exposition, makes it prominent. But even more, this moon is the ruler of the chart because her rising is Cancer. So
yeah.
always remember when you look at the rising sign, you look at the planet that rules that sign, and you know that area of life is going to be super important for this person. So it's the moon, so there's an emotional connection to this area of life. And not only it's just the moon, it's the ruler of her chart, so of his chart. So this is and of course, then I noticed the opposition to Mars.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going off track. So we would say that in his work, probably because it's the 10th house, he's very driven,
Mm-hmm.
he's competitive, he wants to be a
Mm,
pioneer, he wants to be autonomous. And I
mm.
think we can see it. Yes, I think we can see that.
Yeah, in his empire, in his Microsoft empire first, when you're talking about for maybe last 20, 30 years, if you talk about the personal computer, that's his area because most
Mm,
most people on market use Microsoft. Yes, Apple and the Macintosh comes up a little bit. I think the maybe the end of '90s or something, but it was dominated by Microsoft, and even now, big part of people using Microsoft, and he is a very pioneer in his area, but also he is very competitive. So he will
mm,
do a lot of things trying to like hinder or prohibit his competitor to develop their things. Like his competition between Microsoft and Apple, that is a long story. But who comes first? The GUI, those also called Windows interface. I think could be Apple. I don't know. I'm not, but in my knowledge, is Apple come first. But when Apple allowed the IBM machine
mm,
use their Macintosh system,
mm,
3 months after, Microsoft got their things out and look exactly the same like the first generation of Macintosh system.
wow.
So they have a competition there and kind of, very interesting, but they have different strategy. Well, Microsoft is like, okay, I want that everyone use it now. So he's a pushing forward. He's doing it the business way. But Macintosh is a step back in the, very calm, very technical. We are specific. So it's different. We can see that Moon in Aries and the opposite of Mars, how competitive this person could be. It is something very interesting. Do you want to add anything in this chart or?
No, no. I see a lot of things of what you're saying, but it's off track the moon. So let's. No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
fantastic.
So
It's an amazing chart, actually. Yes,
it is a very interesting
all
chart.
charts are
Yes.
amazing. Yes.
Yeah, all chart are amazing. It's how do you use it? Like I think for me, one thing about astrology is, yeah, understanding yourself and how to make it most, how to live out of your chart. What are you going to live with your chart, and how are you going to express and unfolding it? That is most important for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So every chart, there's no good chart or bad chart. Well, that may be challenge chart or something, but you know, it's every chart is good chart, and we should use it. So thank you, Alejo, for your time to talking about the moon in Aries. And well, of course, we will follow the order of zodiac. We don't do retrograde. So next week we're going to talk about Alejo,
Moon in Taurus, the next
we
one.
need Taurus. Okay, yeah. Okay, see you next time. Bye
Take
bye.
care, everyone. Bye bye.